Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning and welcome, you guys. Good morning. Welcome to Traffic Report. My name is Joe, your host. I'm the guy that will be here to talk to you when you call our dial-in number of 914-338-0631. When you press 1 on that bad boy, when you call in and press 1, I'm the guy that's going to be interacting with you. I'm the host. I want to welcome the brand new people who are joining us this morning, maybe for the very first time. This daily traffic report we do every single day is like a start point. Call it what you will. A start point, a pit stop, a hangout, a place where you can plug in and power up. You know, those electric cars that seem to be showing up every single where. Did you notice they have the special electric car fuel station? Everywhere, every once in a while you see them, right? Where you just go plug in, you plug the car in to charge it up. That's kind of like what we do here every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The goal here is to motivate, educate, celebrate the success and the results that so many people are having around the world here with the Traffic Authority, which incidentally we are still ranked number 1. We're showing up on a couple other pages. You know, we were way up there. We're still over 150% increase over the last 30 days. So I need you guys to get busy, right? I'm going to ask you guys to do a couple things here this morning to help us, to really help us continue that domination in the space of multi-level marketing. So yesterday I was asked a question. Yesterday morning, you know, we had a kind of an unusual time we spent together here talking about some of the things that are going on around the world. And, you know, we get into some kind of, maybe some consider it, you know, some, I don't know, is it appropriate for business type of a conversation. And a guy that I've known for many, many years, I was talking about this phenomena called the Traffic Authority and how we come together every single morning. And sometimes we spend like hours here, a couple hours. It's not uncommon for us to be here for a couple hours in the morning. And he was like, dude, that's, you know, why is that? He's like, is it really having an impact? Is doing that really effective? He's like, isn't the Traffic Authority about, you know, it's a business. You guys are operating a business, an online business. So he said, so is hanging around and talking about world events and, you know, karma and the number 11, you know, all this stuff. He's like, is that really, you know, what's going on with that? It was kind of a disparate, you know, his tone was like, what is that? And then he also reminded me, he said, dude, you've been doing this for a long time, right? You're, especially in this wake up to success, let's start our day, you know, pump start the day, you know, all these things that you've been doing. I've been doing a call like this for many, many years, at least 15 years, every day. He's like, and those calls never went more than 30, 45 minutes. So why suddenly are these things going so long? He's like, what's up? What's the real deal? So what I shared with him is, I said, well, what's going on here is it's something very, very unique, and it kind of speaks to the marketplace and the world that we live in. Okay, we live in the internet marketing world, right? Traffic. What is traffic? Traffic is actual email campaigns. Okay, that's what Traffic Authority does. When you buy traffic, what you are buying is a service. And the service is that the Traffic Authority will communicate with prospects. Right, so let's say that you're in the essential oil business and you've got a cool killer website, and the only thing standing in your way from achieving your goals. You're getting started. You want to get a bunch of users. You want to get people to buy your essential oils. Well, you have to have people seeing your website, right? You're going to have views. And that's what traffic is, essentially. When someone buys traffic, what you're doing is buying views. So let's say we'll use 1,000. Okay, that's a gold package. So if you buy 1,000 clicks from Traffic Authority, what you're buying is 1,000 people strangers, okay, 1,000 strangers are going to receive an email from a stranger, and that email is going to, be written well, and it's going to have some really cool language, and it's going to inspire the reader to click a link that's going to say, for more information, click here. So far, what have we gotten? We've gotten you, and you've made the decision to get yourself 1,000 clicks. You spent $1,000. And incidentally, half of that money is paid out in commission, which is really cool. But so what happens then is you, on your behalf, Traffic Authority is going to send 1,000, or it could be 10,000, it could be 20,000 emails on your behalf, because Traffic Authority guarantees the clicks. So Traffic Authority's got to be really, really good about, the emails that they send and the list that they're sending to and the publishers they work with. That's a whole other discussion. But for this discussion, you have to know that you're going to be guaranteed 1,000 clicks. And maybe 5,000 people have to see it in order for 1,000 of them to be encouraged enough or inspired enough to click and go to the next level. Now, what do we have here? We've got you who is sending email. You have you who have engaged a company that's going to send blind email to people who've never received anything from you, and then they're going to click and they're going to go through a process. Then they're going to get into a sales funnel, and then they're going to get autoresponders and all of this stuff. That's the world that we live in. And this is what I said to my friend yesterday, who asked me, why are you going so long with these radio broadcasts that you do? What the hell's that about? I said, well, we live in this world of websites and emails and evergreen webinars. Sometimes you'll opt into a webinar and it's like, it's not live. It was recorded sometime in the past, and you're like, whoa, it's not even a live person talking to me. And then we live in this place of Twitter and Skype and Instagram. We just unrolled our Instagram ninja last week, Mazer. So you got all of this activity going on, but the one thing up until this point, the missing thing is human beings. It's people. And this is the internet age we live in, right? And then suddenly, we're here every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what it says to me is that there's a real void in the marketplace. All that internet stuff is cool, and the things you're going to learn here are cool, and the sales funnels are cool. Cool. Check. The missing element is human beings who really care about each other. And that's what goes on here every single day. It's a place where human beings come together, connect, educate, motivate, celebrate. So I think it's pretty cool. And when he said yes, but the focus has got to be on business. What does all of this stuff mean in business and building a business? This thing that you do, hanging around, listening to these people, talking to these people, all of these individuals talking to each other. What does this have to do with our business? I said, well, it has everything to do with the business. Because once again, we're transparent. We're out here, warts and all. People come out, they make complaints, they have questions, they have solutions. We're right out here, we're sharing everything. We're showing you who we are. We're showing you where the warts are. Myself yesterday coming out, a little bit, had some angst going yesterday. And then we heard from some other people, and they were willing to share their stories and what's going on in their world. It's a very, very cool, unusual place to be. And we do it every single day. So for those of you who are brand spanking new, take the time to plug in here. And more than importantly, take the time to give back. Going on that Facebook page and making comments is a critical component to the forward momentum that we are currently carrying. Now, I got a couple more things I want to talk about. I want to get through these things quickly so we can get to you guys, and maybe we can chop a half hour off the experience. Maybe, people, they get impatient. I'm looking right now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you. Somebody's been in the queue for 22 minutes, and we've only been on the air for 9 minutes. So I want to get us through some stuff here quickly. All right. Tonight, there's going to be a webinar. It takes place at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're working on some really cool things on the webinar. And what tonight is going to be kind of like a basic training. Everyone will benefit from this, okay? Every single one of us will benefit from tonight's training. We're going to go back to the very beginning. We're going to cover some very basic fundamental things, right? Like we're going to cover the entire member back office experience. Especially for you brand new people, and for you guys who have been around for a while, it's very, very refreshing to go through this stuff because so much stuff is being added all the time. So we're going to walk through the entire experience. The chat room will be open, okay? From time to time, we'll have to close it because some of our members get a little chatty and they start talking about things other than the topic of the night. So we'll monitor that. But that's taking place tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The registration link is trafficweblive.net. It's right now sitting on the Facebook page. You will be receiving an email reminder, okay, shortly before the webinar, reminding you that the webinar is taking place. We've already got about 300 people, I think, 400 people have registered just since it went last night. And yes, the movie is Stripes, and I don't know if you're getting it, but when you register for the webinar, that is Bill Murray. There he is. Look how young he is. John Candy, may he rest in peace. That other dude who was actually the writer of the movie Stripes, and he was one of the Ghostbusters. You see him in the video. May he rest in peace as well. But the tie-in there is basic training for those of you who are wondering, why did he put that little video in? Because we like to keep it fun, right? It's fun. I thought that was hilarious, right? Especially, he kind of caught me off guard when they went boom shaka-laka, laka, boom shaka-laka. I was like, whoa, is that appropriate, right? So tonight the webinar is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have prospects, okay, if you have people who have yet to say yes, invite them because they're going to see what everybody who has said yes is seeing, right? You have to at least be a reseller for $20 to see that stuff. So if you have people who are wondering, okay, you could say, you know what, come on, and we're going to give you a real, we're going to peel back the curtain and show you what's going on there. So that's taking place at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Okay, here's the next thing. Now I want you to pay attention and write a couple things down here. Leadership is something that is really, really strong in this neighborhood. We've got a lot of really good leaders, and they show up here every single morning. That's one of the reasons we go for 2 hours every single day, or give or take 90 minutes, 2 hours, because so many leaders are showing up here, sharing their enthusiasm and their insight and their passion and their belief and all that stuff. So we want to formalize. I've been talking about the Traffic Control Board for weeks. So our goal is to have this quote-unquote Traffic Control Board seated in their seats with their special name badges by the beginning of December. That's only a couple weeks away. And we want to showcase this group like on the first week, the first Tuesday in December is the goal. Now, here there are some requirements for anyone. Everyone is eligible to be a member of the Traffic Control Board. And the Traffic Control Board will have benefits. You'll have special access. You'll be under a non-disclosure agreement because you'll be hearing about real things that are coming. You know, you'll be involved in beta testing and some real cool discussions that take place, feedback from the field. Right? The Traffic Control Board is how, you know, if you look at it, it's like, you know, it's the chart, the organizational chart. You know, there has to be people who are communicating with people in mass and bring that message back and what's really happening out there and what are people feeling and how are they doing. And that's what the Traffic Control Board will do. The Traffic Control Board members will have other responsibilities. They'll be very visible in social media, monitoring the Facebook page, doing other things like training, okay, coming on live webinars with whoever the host is. And when you get to a live event, we should be having, the schedule calls for 3 live events in 2016, meaning major cities, right now primarily North America, but major cities with thousands of people in the room and Traffic Control Board members who will be identified as the Ninja Elite and will have special benefits, stage time, meeting and greeting, responsibilities, right? You'll get to spend time with the founders and the design team in private quarters and say, okay, guys, this is what we have to do. This is our message. Everyone's in lockstep. Open the doors, and here comes 1,000 people, 2,000 people running in the room, and there's the Traffic Control Board there, the bright-eyed traffic control, shiny name badges, the people that they see on the webinars are there to greet them. Now, here's what we're looking for from a traffic control board member. And I want you to write this down, okay? To be considered for traffic control board, you have to be 3-star qualified. And Ree Sutton, if you're listening, you are 3-star qualified. 3-star qualified. What does that mean? Well, quickly. In the traffic authority, there are 3, we call them the 3 T's. The first one is traffic optimizer. When you have 6 people join you at the traffic optimizer level, you are 1-star qualified. You've got that knocked out. And not only are you 1-star qualified, but you're making 80% commission instead of 50-50. The next step is Traffic Academy. When you have 6 members who have upgraded to the Traffic Academy, you are now 2-star qualified. Okay? And the third star is having 6 individuals who have purchased traffic from you. It could be bronze, it could be diamond, doesn't make a difference. You just have to have 6 traffic sales that you're responsible for generating. Now, it could be the same 6 people. And in most cases, it is the same 6 people, okay, that purchase all 3 products from you. The next level is that you personally have to be a minimum of gold qualified, meaning that you are sitting to receive those gold commissions on the $1,000 package. The next thing, and this is critical, is you will have to make a commitment to purchasing traffic for yourself. We lead by example, right? It is the traffic that really drives the engine. It is the traffic that really, really generates the revenue. It's in the traffic that the really big back-end commissions are. So in order to be considered for the Traffic Control Board, you have got to be committed to your traffic authority business. And that means at least once a month, you will purchase a traffic package. It could be bronze. It could be diamond. It could be basic. But once a month, you have got to make the commitment to buy traffic and keep the traffic moving. And the other thing is vision for yourself. Okay, vision for yourself. You have to be able to see yourself on that stage. You have to be willing to jump out onto a webinar at a moment's notice because someone's got a personal or whatever's going on. You've got to be ready to go, right on duty. And so you got to be willing to jump into that fray. Now, everyone has a first time. You may have never done a conference call. Maybe you've never been on a live webinar. Maybe you're chomping at the bit to get in there. And then the last thing, and this is really kind of important, is that traffic authority has to be your primary quote unquote business. We understand that we're entrepreneurs. Everybody's got some things going on. Everyone's got talents. People are working on projects. But the traffic authority has got to be your primary focus, right? Like this is where you spend your time. You're always showing up on the Facebook page. You're primary. Now, if that's you, then I want you to do, here's what I want you to do, is I want you to send in an email to me. Here's where you send the email. joe@trafficauthority.net. Okay? And here's something that is important, okay? The subject line, okay? The subject line has to say, because I get a lot of email, the subject line has to say this: TCB, all uppercase, capital T, capital C, capital B, hyphen, member, hyphen, application. TCB has to be uppercase, dash member, dash application. Send that in. If you want to get to the big boy table, as they say, Thanksgiving is, remember Thanksgiving? You got the big people, the grown up table, and then the kiddie table. And I say that, and I mean this respectfully. But if you want to really have a seat at the table, have your voice be heard, be connected to the founders, knowing them on a first name basis, having their private telephone numbers, and really, really become part of the creative process and the management team, because we're growing so quickly, exponentially. We'll soon hit 10,000 members in our organization. It's going to require some more talent at the table. So here's the last thing I want to share with you, and then we're going to open it up for some comments and some questions. I want to share with you, we talk a lot here in the mornings about personal development, about, that's one of our key elements. That's why people show up here so consistently, I think. is because that personal development aspect, that real people. We hear from Frank, and we hear from Carlos, and we hear from Rebecca, and we hear from every single morning we hear from the Mountain Man calling in, and Gilbert, and we hear from Gilbert James, and we hear from Gene, and we hear from Monica live in Portland. All these people every single day showing up. And I think the reason these people come, and Kim Snyder, and the stuff people are sharing, is the personal development side of what takes place to really achieve greatness, world class, in any sales organization. That's why people show up here. So it reminds me of the story. Do any of you guys, have you ever met a rock star? Do you know any rock stars that know you by first name? I do. I do. And one of my favorites, I'm going to tell you the story of a rock star. This rock star, you may not know his name, but he's been around for a long time. His name is Al Ortiz. Al Ortiz is his name. And Al Ortiz happens to be the bass player for Stevie Nicks. You know who Stevie Nicks is, right? That beautiful woman. She always wears the flowing, chiffon-y stuff, and she was in Fleetwood Mac. Stevie Nicks. Well, Al Ortiz is the bass player for Stevie Nicks. And he's been the bass player for Stevie Nicks for like the better part of a decade. If you ever see a Stevie Nicks video, he's a guy, Al Ortiz. I think he's Mexican American, and he's got really long hair like down to his waist. He's the bass player. He stands to her right, to her right. There he is, and he's always there. And he's a remarkable musician, right? And I live in a neighborhood up here where all the musicians, for whatever reason, the local music scene here is just amazing. Because you got all these players who have this background and this experience, and they come together and they just have jam sessions. Very cool. Open mic. You got all these rock stars up there on open mic. And so one day I'm at one of these little tiny honky tonks, and there's Al Ortiz, and he's up on stage and he's playing his ass off, and he's being typical Al Ortiz. He can sing, he can play 12-string guitar, he can play bass. He's got a couple guys playing with him. And he comes off the stage, and he looks magnificent, okay? I mean, Al, you can see something's going on there. And Al has lost weight since the last time I saw him. He's lean. He's mean. His hair is shining like – it's just amazing how this guy looks, right? He's got a grin on his face. His eyes are just crystal clear and bright. And he comes over to me, and I happen to know that he's about to depart on a world tour. He's about to go out on a world tour with Stevie Nicks. And so I'm thinking, wow, this guy's a rock star. Oh, look how good he looks. No wonder he looks so good, right? I mean, he must have been really, really taking care of himself. He's about to go out on the road. He's going to travel planet Earth, playing in major stadiums and little clubs and featuring Stevie Nicks. And could you imagine the chicks? The reason guys play guitars are to get girls. Ask anybody who plays one, right? I'm like, oh, God, look at this guy. So he comes up to me, and I'm like, Al. He's like, Joe, what are you doing, man? How you doing? I'm like, dude, you look amazing. I'm like, really? I mean, you have gone through some serious transformation here. I said, what's going on with you? And he catches me off guard because he's a rock star. The last thing I ever expected Al Ortiz to say to me when I asked him, wow, you look fantastic. What are you doing to look this good? Al says to me, have you ever read The Four Agreements? I was like, boom. The Four Agreements? Really? The Four Agreements is why you look so good? That's what you're telling me? He goes, yeah, man. He goes, I'm following the Four Agreements, and it has really made a change in my life. So I'm thinking, the Four Agreements. I'm like, of course I have read the Four Agreements. Of course. It's one of my personal favorites. I have a copy in the bathroom. I have a copy on my nightstand. I even have an itty-bitty copy that I can fit in my pants pocket, an itty-bitty copy of the Four Agreements, so I keep it with me. So, as we go through these, and thank you for that, Al. He had a great tour. I saw him again not long ago. But I just want to quickly, if he just give me a couple more minutes, and we're going to open up the line, I want you guys to consider these four agreements. There's a lot of personal development stuff. We talk about it all the time. We talk about the slight edge. The other day I was talking about with winning in mind. We talk about the traveler's gift. Okay, we talk about how rich people think. We talk about success built to last. That's like a recurring topic, right? right here every morning, we seem to discuss some personal development stuff. You can break it down, though. I realize that there are only 4 things. If you can master these 4 things, you will have a charmed existence. It will blow you away at how stuff will come into your life, how you'll feel, how your relationships will be. Relationships with yourself, with your spouse, with your money, with your bank account, with your business. You will be a magnet for good, positive things, and you will be resilient like Teflon to the stuff that's out there that's negative, that drags the world down. And here are the 4 agreements. As a matter of fact, this is going to be my next giveaway book. Here's the 4 agreements. You ready? They're so simple. Even Anthony Robbins says this is it. You want a boom shakalaka moment? Boom. This is it. The first of the 4 agreements. You ready? 1. Be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. This is the best part right here. You ready? Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Boom. On this, be impeccable with your word. Of course, it seems obvious, right? Tell the truth. When you tell the truth, you don't have to. You can live without memory if you tell the truth. I remember as a youngster, I got into a little bit of a fibbing, a fibberoonie. I was like a little boy. I was like less than 10 years old. My mother caught me in a fib. She grabbed me by the ear. She was famous. I think she's grabbed me by the ear within the last 5 years. She's an earlobe grabber. She grabs me by the earlobe. She puts her long, bony finger right in my face. And she says, listen, little man, if you're going to be a liar, you got to have a perfect memory. So if I was you, just stick with the truth. It's like, wow, pretty cool. So it's kind of obvious, right? Be impeccable with your word, speak the truth. But the real power in this be impeccable with your word is the self-talk. What is it that you're saying to yourself when no one else can hear you? When you're in your dreams, right before you fall asleep at night, when you wake up in the morning, what is it that you're saying to yourself? Because that's where the creation for your day will live. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Man, we live in this world. Taking stuff personally? Are you kidding? I'm bruised at the end of the typical day by taking stuff personally because I dare be out on the front. I dare get out here every morning. I dare get out there, so people are coming at me, man. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. I just had this happen to me just last week. A very dear friend started projecting some caca, right? It's like, what? What? And I just sat there and realized that I have to love this person because she's projecting. She really is projecting. Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. Don't make assumptions. Don't we all make assumptions? Don't we all think that the things people are in our business, right? In our business, part of being successful in our industry is being able to take the punch, right? Being able to take the punch, meaning people who are negative and people who don't want to get started or people who want to get their money back or whatever the case may be. We make assumptions and we take it personally, don't we? The last one and the 4th, always do your best. Period, end of story. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you're healthy and as opposed to sick. Under any circumstances, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. How true. And really, when you're talking about always doing your best and the 4 agreements, and this is written by Don Miguel Ruiz, always do your best. And here's what I took from this, right? Always do your best when applying the other 3 agreements. Be consciously aware of the words that you're using. Your words are your creation, your self-talk, your talk about your business, your talk about your life, your talk about your kids, your talk about your grandkids, the talk about your spouse. Be impeccable with your word. It's a choice. You make the right choice. Don't take anything personally. Don't take it personally, man. It's not your story. What somebody thinks about you, what they think about your business, what they think about your activity, the way you behave, it's none of your business what they think, because they're living in their own manufactured whatever it is. Don't make assumptions. Don't assume anything. Just move forward and do your best. You know, that person that you're talking to about your traffic authority business, that one person who you know can run the table, maybe something's going on in their home. How many of us have been brokenhearted because someone said they were going to do something and they didn't do it? And you're assuming that so many things have happened. Communication is the key thing here. You know, that's the don't make assumptions. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings. You know, we make assumptions about what's going on, about what people are doing, about what they're going to do. When you just get out there and you have the intestinal fortitude to get up in your own face and ask the question, what the hell's going on here? And then just be cool with the answer. Just make your point clear. All right. Those are my 4 agreements. As a matter of fact, like I said, I wasn't exaggerating when I tell you I have a copy of the 4 agreements. I got a little bitty copy that I bought that fits in my pocket. This one here that I'm holding in my hand right now, this is the 4 agreements companion book. Using the 4 agreements to master the dream of your life. And it's a little bit more to it. There's some exercises in here, but it's cool. All right, here's what we're going to do. You ready to roll? I'm going to say the last 4 digits of your telephone number. And it is open forum, my friends. Okay, I'm going to say the last 4 digits of your phone number. I'm going to invite you to come out, give me your first name, the city, state, country you're calling in from, and then just let her rip. If you have any questions about your business, I'll tell you, your questions are going to be answered in your member back office. I was in there this morning, once again, going through every detail in the member back office, and there is stuff popping up like out of the clear blue sky. You got to be in there every single day pretty much to see all of the content and all of the new additions. So if you have a question about your business, about something going on specifically with your links, with your e-wallet, I'm going to ask you to first watch the videos, go back through, watch the videos in the member back office, and then send in a support ticket, support@trafficauthority.net. These guys are up to speed. They're getting turnarounds in sometimes 60, 90 minutes, certainly 24 hours is the norm. But anything else? Any comment, question, you know, whatever it's going to take to make you feel whole and satisfied today, everybody is welcome. Everybody's encouraged to participate here. So let's get her rolling. Let's start with number 1. This could be one of several people. Come on out here, number 1.
Hey, this is Frank from beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The sun is shining, and it's a great day to play in traffic. Good morning, Joe.
Frank, how are you this morning? What's going on in your neighborhood there? I know that it's sunny and beautiful.
I'm blessed and highly favored, and I really want to be one of those guys that sit up at the lead table, and I want to be one of the ninjas up there and meet and greet people, and I have put on hundreds of webinars myself, and so if you ever need somebody to jump in at a moment's notice, you can always count on me.
Well, you have to have the certification of Traffic Control Board member. And I'm going to talk to the design team about...
Let me just reiterate what you want me to do. You want me to first be a 3-star qualified. Then you want me to send an email to joe@trafficauthority.net. And in the subject line, you want it to say TCV-member-application. Is that correct, Joe?
That's correct.
I'll do that. Mm-hmm. That's what I'll do. I'll get that thing. One of the things I'd like to ask you, Joe, is I would really, 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 really like somebody to give me a call from support. Now, one of the things I decided I was going to do this week, I made a pact with myself, that self-talk thing, you know, and I said, you know, I'm going to go, this week, I'm going to go from start to finish through all the videos again. I am helping some of my people that I'm bringing on, and every now and then I find, you know what, I don't know the answer to that. So I made a pact with myself to go back and go through all of the videos in the back office one more time. But I do have a little thing that's bugging me, and I do need somebody to call me to point me in the right direction. So if you can have somebody call, I will put in a support ticket, but you have that magic touch. I mean, Holly talks to you sweetly. Next thing you know, her problem is solved. Well, I'm going to talk to you real sweetly, Joe. Could you have someone call me?
Yes, I can, Frank. And if you're feeling uncomfortable, I just want to make sure that you're not sitting on a tack. Okay, like you see the famous Mona Lisa. I think she's sitting on a tack, and that's why she has that. And I want to make sure I'll have someone call you, even if it's me. But I want to make sure that you're not sitting on a tack, because that can cause such discomfort for us. 9190, you're next up.
Hey, this is Earl Teets, the Mountain Man out of Troy, Montana, and really it's exciting to be part of Traffic Authority. You know, you got to look at what's out there, and you got to ask yourself. I had to ask myself these kind of questions. Do I want to fall in the poverty trap, or do I want to make a difference in life where it counts? And when you look at the history, it's full of success that leaves clues. If you recognize the fact that only 3% succeed in this industry and 97% fail, it's because there's a lot of crap out there. And I hate to use such a foul word, but that's what's out there. There's too many people out there making big bucks on offering something for nothing. So when you take the 3% and you dissect that, what is it that 3% has? The 3%, they're a little different than the politicians that are supposed to know best for us in this country, right? The 3%, they have a plan of action, for one. They have a service or a product that the masses need every month, month after month. And they have instructions on how to utilize what is there for you. And then the last thing that you need for success is that mastermind group of people who have already achieved success that know how to guide you to where you want to go. And when you look at Traffic Authority, you have every single one of those things. You know, you don't have somebody in politics that's been paid their way to get there so they can tell you, oh, we got problems with guns, let's make gun control laws. Well, take a look at France. It's an awful situation that took place. That's a place where no guns are allowed, where they got gun control, and look what happened. Yet how much money do we spend to try to put together dumb laws for gun control when criminals never pay attention to the law? They break the law because they're criminals, so it makes no sense to waste money that could go to help people in this country to go into gun control. Well, look at business. It's no different. If you don't have all four of those elements in place, like we have here at Traffic Authority, you're going to spin your wheels and you're not going to make any money. And then you're going to get mad and think the industry sucks. If you look at the history of the industry, that's exactly what takes place all the time. So when you look at Traffic Authority and you ask yourself some common sense questions, what is it that we have? We have more than just one product that somebody needs every month. Everybody that wants to make a career online needs to learn the education of how to utilize the online tools. And believe it or not, there's more than one tool. Now, would you give a mechanic $5 and tell him to rebuild the engine on your vehicle and give him a crescent wrench and say, go to work, buddy? You wouldn't do that, would you? But when you look at home business, the people that don't know any better expect to spend $20, $40, even $100 to get started with a business. And then they should be able to just take that engine apart with no tools. Maybe they got extra strong fingers. I don't know. But when you look at what we have here at Traffic Authority, we've got the tools. You need autoresponders. They're a business expense. A business expense to an entrepreneur, folks, it's a tax write-off. So don't fret at what you need. What do you need as a business owner? Well, first you need to know how to do the job, and that's what we got with our Traffic Academy. You get to learn how to do the job. Well, if you went out and got a degree as a lawyer, or you went out and got a degree as a professional marketer, or you went out and got a degree as a big wig of whatever you got your degree in, you're going to have to go to school for 2 years, get your AA degree, and then another 4 years to get your BA degree, and now you're just stepping into the market. How much did that education cost you? Now, when you look at the educational system of work for 40 hours a week for 40 years so the government can tell you at 65 we found an excuse why not to pay you your retirement, you don't get it, or the company that you work for goes out of business and you're left with nothing, as many people are facing that very problem, more than 30 million people in just America alone, and this is a global country. So what do you have with Traffic Authority? You have a solution to that problem. Somebody can learn what they need to learn to make their presence online, and then what does every online entrepreneur need? They need clicks to their websites, whether they're blue, black, green, or purple. They all need clicks to their website. So if you can show them that Traffic Authority has real, genuine clicks from American and Canadian people who have opted into something somewhere on the internet and said, hey, I am dead serious. I want to own and operate a home business. Well, that's what we have at Traffic Authority. So now that you realize we got all the good stuff, just like in America, we have all the stuff to make it, what are we going to do with our actions daily to create our own success? Because the biggest myth in this industry is that there's some magical button out there that you spend anywhere from $20,000 to $5,000 on, and you can push that magic button, and bam, here comes $1 million. Recognize 97% of the companies starting out today are going to fail within 6 months. 97%. And what do they all have in common? They all have one thing in common. They're trying to convince you that you can get something for nothing, and because the masses want something for nothing so bad, they flock to that. And after they get burned 20 or 30 times, they run around like a bunch of hens in a hen house, clucking around, oh, that business industry don't work, that's just a scam, it's all Ponzi schemes, and they're upset. So when you recognize what's going on in the world of entrepreneurship and you see the clues left behind by success, can you look at the 4 things that Traffic Authority has and ask yourself this question: are you willing to tie up your bootstraps and take the next step forward and go to work? Sometimes it's painful to invest money, and sometimes you don't have money to invest, but you don't stop on your vision because you don't have money to invest. You figure out how to make little bits of money. And when you make the smaller, even if it's the $20 commissions, earn enough of those to where you got $220 set aside to buy a $220 traffic pack. Take your profits from the traffic that comes off of that and upgrade to the $440, up to the $1,000. And then pretty soon you'll be up to the $8,000 diamond pack, because you worked your way there. Folks, understand, success is a process. It's not an overnight happening. And if you're willing to put your efforts forward into this team, you're going to be darn glad you did, because this team isn't sitting there going, well, gee, why should we have a radio blog talk show when people should be out there working? What a waste of efforts, really? When there's so much crap out there online, everybody thinks everything is a scam. When you come to these daily blog talk radio shows and you hear real people putting in real actions and having success and learning during the process, and how do we learn in entrepreneurship? We fail our way to the top. We have to learn from our failures, and you have to have the courage to be able to fail and pick yourself up from that failure and move forward. And we have all of that here. And to be part of this, I've dreamed of what we have here at Traffic Authority for over 20 years. So when I tell you I'm really excited to be here, I'm being very truthful. It's an honor to be here, and I just thank you for allowing me to be here, Joe. It's just a blessing to be part of a winning team.
And thank you very much, Earl the Mountain Man, checking in. Woo! You said a lot there, Earl. Woo! You know the 24-second rule in basketball. You know, like, I'm gonna have to put in a timer on here for some of you guys. But I understand. I feel you, Earl. I feel that you guys are really, really wound up, and it really makes a difference. And I am so happy, Earl, that you are willing to come here and share your enthusiasm with everybody. Believe me, that's true. Holly, what's going on with you? I see Holly is in the queue.
Good morning, Joe, and to everyone on the call. How are you? This is Holly from Los Angeles.
Hey, Holly. I'm doing great. How are you feeling this morning?
I am well, thank you. I'm actually a little under the weather, and I'm trying to get over this cold that I've had for quite some time. It's really strange. It's the weather, how it fluctuates. And I wanted to get on the call yesterday, but I totally didn't have any juice. I didn't have a battery. Like, I was out and about working, and then that happened, so I couldn't get on the call. Sorry about that, but I am just so excited, Joe, because I actually have more commissions in my back office. Like, it is totally residual, and I just happened to see it yesterday, and I saw some more this morning, so I am so excited.
Well, I'm excited for you. We're glad to have you back. I can hear you. I think you're talking to somebody in the background there, Holly. I want to thank you for coming out here this morning. And yes, the weather is weird. I live in the desert, and I woke up this morning to 32 degrees in the desert. It wasn't that long ago that it was like 112 degrees in the desert. Yep, you're right. The weather will cause havoc. I'm glad that you're feeling recharged, and always show up here, Holly, because this is where you can get your batteries recharged. Good morning, 8478. You're next up.
Hello, Joe. How are you doing this morning? This is Joan from New Orleans.
Joan in New Orleans. How are you, Joan?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I'm fired up and got a lot going on here.
Great. A lot of good information from everyone getting on the call today.
Mm-hmm.
It's really educational for me. So I like everyone's comments. Very helpful.
Thank you for showing up here. We really appreciate you taking the time to plug in, and hopefully you're going to get a benefit from every single speaker here today. And I know people are getting a benefit from you, Joan, checking in here today.
This is part of my lifeline. That's how I think about it.
Well, I'm glad that you're plugged in, and thank you very much for showing up, Joan. We'll keep it moving here. Joan in New Orleans checking in this morning. Thank you very much, Joan. 6673 is next up in the queue. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. It's Kim Snyder from Niagara Falls, Canada. How are you?
I'm feeling fabulous today. Actually, I have nothing but gratitude. For real.
You rock. Let me tell you, the stuff that you come up with every morning, you just rock. I just love it. And you're just like, I get stuck and play too small sometimes. But man, did you ever raise my game, because I plan to be on that traffic control board. I've got to get 3-star qualified.
Yeah, you know what? It's just staying focused. It's just continuing to run the traffic. I know that, traffic is a big issue for people, and I know that it can seem like it's pricey, but at the end of the day, it's really the lifeline of the business. It really is getting traffic, keeping it moving. And you know what, Kim? That is why we introduced things like Mazer last week, right? There has to be other ways for people who don't necessarily have the resources to today, on this day, commit to a traffic package. So go utilize the Instagram training. There's a method to all this madness. But, to get qualified, to get 3-star qualified, all it requires is views, is people seeing what you see. And that's
Absolutely.
Just a matter of time. And so how are you doing today, Kim? What's going on?
Well, I wanted to call it. I saw something on the Facebook page, and so with your permission, is it okay? I want to talk about the sales cycle a little bit and give some tips to something I had seen.
Sure, go ahead.
Someone posted that somebody had come in and products. So in other words, they didn't go. They're not a reseller. They just came in and purchased the retail product, which is awesome. And what they were posting is, okay, this person bought traffic from me. Now I want to send them a link so that they can go and see what other stuff there is. So the way I read that post, it is possible that this person asked about it, but the way I read that post, it was like, okay, now that I have them in my line, I want to sell them everything. And this is what I want to say about it. The sales cycle has 7 steps. The first 2 steps are the most important, And it's the first one is building rapport, and the second is finding a need. And when you're running traffic through Traffic Authority, we're operating on borrowed rapport. So somebody comes to my traffic capture page. They don't know me. They're there for Traffic Authority. I have to build a relationship with them in order to get my own rapport. One of the things that breaks rapport faster than anything is overselling somebody. So you want to make sure that when people come in place, so this is where finding the need comes in, if somebody is just buying traffic, or somebody has just got a reseller license, or they're asking a specific question. I had somebody send me an email yesterday. She wants to get in, and she asked me a very specific question about traffic. There's a ton of things I could have thrown at her, but I have to focus on what it is that she needs, and what she needed was an answer to that question to help her move forward to the next step. So you want to make sure that you don't break rapport. If you have great rapport with somebody, you're 35% to 40% of the way to making a sale. You find the need and focus on the need, and you answer their need adequately and succinctly and directly, you're another 25% of the way to the sale. So you're 60 to 65% of your way to closing a sale, making a sale, by taking the time to build that relationship based on what they think they need and taking it from there. Because the next step is building value, because there's things that they think they need, and then you can educate them about more things where you can help them as the relationship develops and as you see where they are. So I really wanted, hopefully that helps people. Don't oversell. Don't get too over-enthusiastic. Stick with building it. Once they're in your line, remember, they have the relationship with Traffic Authority when they come in your traffic. Build that relationship with them so they now have the rapport with you. Find out who they are, what they need, what they're looking for. Stay focused on that. And that is what's going to open the door for you to be able to build the value to help take them to the next step.
I love this. And, it is, here's the thing that's coming up for me is, in your experience, is this is this a painstaking, difficult, is this how much work is this going to take? Because most people, how most people are, Kim, and you're a coach. And do you feel as though some of the things, the processes that are in here do much of this for people? We do have, I know the autoresponders can be a little bit cold, but if you are reaching out, and I love this, that you don't oversell, you just give people exactly what it is they're looking for. And because I think that this is just people, they're it's like it's an assault. Every single time you get out into the world, everybody is trying to sell you something. I had this morning. I was doing some research this morning on something like, I can't remember what it was, the 4 agreements. And all of a sudden, into my computer screen comes some guy, selling me something. And then I go to another screen, and the next thing you know, the Geico lizard jumps up onto my. I'm like, oh, police! I can't even breathe without someone trying to sell me something. I'm going to look for something specific, and I'm getting manhandled every minute of every day by someone attempting to market to me. So what you're saying is that give people only what they look for, and I think that, because I'm thinking that a lot of people, I think, are angered by this stuff. I dump off websites like crazy because the information I'm looking for is not toothpaste. I'm not looking for,
When yes, and because what you're talking about is a bait and switch. In other words, you get reeled in by some promise of something, and then all of a sudden somebody's trying to sell you something else or constantly upselling you. Traffic Authority offers people opportunities in an educational way. So if they've come into your lead funnel and still haven't purchased anything, not only pay attention to your I'm really paying attention to what gets opened, what my open rates are, and I'm just using the swipe files. I'm just letting things run as Traffic Authority, and then I also build in some, of course, when I do the webinars and so on, or afterwards. I might send a personal little one. I habitually have every day when somebody signs up, 8 hours after they're into the funnel, into my lead funnel, there's a personal email that automatically goes out saying, this is who I am. These are my social media connections. This is a little bit about me. So they know that I'm a real person, because I understand that they have to start building relationship. It takes time. And I mean, that's the whole comment about your radio show. I mean, so business is about relationships. It's a whole different world than business used to be. Business is totally about relationships, and the stronger your relationships are. So if you think of it this way, to answer your question, is it laborious? Is building a relationship with people laborious? If you feel like connecting with other people is laborious, then maybe entrepreneurship isn't for you, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
But it shouldn't be laborious. Traffic Authority does a ton of it. One of the things pieces of advice I gave the lady who emailed me yesterday was, once you buy your reseller license, because she's committed to that, you go into your back office and watch all of the videos. I am here, but all of the videos, all of your questions will be answered, and I am totally here to support you, but you'll see everything, all your answers will be there, all the support is there. But in the meantime, I did answer her initial question. So is it laborious? Traffic Authority makes it a lot easier than if you had to do all of this on your own. Tons easier. And it's a system. It's a system that works. It's a process. That's why I'm here. The product is great. The environment is great. And you're building relationships every single day. Your radio show, your webinars, your founders, that's all about building relationships, and you guys do it beautifully. That's what I told Doug when he called me about my prize. I said, you guys do that beautifully. You've got that nailed down so great. And so for us, who are now having to guide people at the other end, just think about, just be real, be authentic, just be yourself, and it will take time, depending on how fast you're running your traffic, it will take time to build relationships. That's why I know I'll get 3-star qualified, and it's going to take some time, because I also have to time manage myself with my business. It takes time. You have to have patience, but every relationship takes time. Every relationship that's valuable to build takes time. The stronger you build it, those people will stay with you forever.
And they will, and thank you for this. I really, really appreciate you taking the time this morning, Kim. This has been very, very helpful. And the other thing I would say, I love the fact that you're sending people an email, and it's automatic. And you can set this up, ladies and gentlemen, so that it's like an autoresponder email that is personalized from you, and and that's really, really cool that you're doing that. And I would even include, and you may already be doing this, a bridge video. You know how to shoot YouTube videos. I've seen your YouTube videos. You do very, very well. We talk about a bridge video in your member back office. There's a training. We're going to talk about bridge videos this evening and how powerful they can be. And, Kim, I know that if I received this autoresponder email from you, and then 8 hours later I receive another video, another email, and there's a video of you saying, hey, this is Kim Snyder. I just want to tell you how, blah, blah, blah. I don't even have to go into it. You know exactly what to say. But that would even personalize the experience even more, I'm thinking. It's very, very cool.
Awesome.
If you ever notice some of these guys, men and women both, Kara, I noticed Kara and Vincent Ortega, they actually send email random, okay, and it will say, hey, I want to show you this. Here's a video of something I've just done. If you want to talk to me right now, here's my telephone right now, or shoot me a text message right now. And they're serious, and they're standing by for that right now experience, and that is something that head and shoulders above most individuals in our space, in our internet marketing space. Kim, thank you very much for taking the time. You are awesome, and I'm looking forward to you taking your rightful space as a teacher, as a trainer here with us, because you bring such value. Thanks again, Kim.
Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome. There's Kim Snyder calling in from Niagara Falls. 0618, you're next up in the queue. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. This is Gil James in New York City.
How's
everybody at my brother Ninjas and sister Ninjas? It's a great morning to win in the game of life. Yesterday I went in my back office, and not my back office. Before that, my phone started dinging, and again I got a message from Traffic Authority that commission came in. So I'm really, really happy about that. I've never really been in a network online business before. I've tried NSA, I've tried a lot of different ones, but I've never felt grounded. I never felt that I was part of a community that was moving forward and that I was moving forward with it. But I feel differently with Traffic Authority. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like I'm moving forward. I was working in my back office last night, and I seen all the hits I've got. I've got a couple of days, I've got almost 20 hits from some of the marketing I'm doing on social media. So Traffic Authority has really, really turned me all the way on. My success bulb in my head is getting brighter and brighter, and I'm moving forward. So I just want to say to everybody that Traffic Authority is really, really the place to be, and it provides so much training, so much transparency and truth and enlightenment, and really online marketing tools that really, really work. I was listening to some of the people on the video last night, and it's tremendous, the things that are back there that are really, really going to help me and everybody else who apply them to move forward and really get my business growing the way I want it to grow. So thank you so much, Joe. You are a mastermind. You are a king and leader, and I'm so grateful for you and the rest of the team and my brother and sister ninjas on the call today. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. Gilbert James checking in from NYC, and I love that, Gilbert, when the text message goes off and the company is sending you a little notification that you've made some do-re-mi. You got a little money coming in. I love that. 2773, it's your turn. Hello, 2773. Are you there? Hello, 2773. Oh, this is painful to do. Oh, I hate to have to boot you like that. I just muted you again, 2773. Oh, we'll come back to you.
I had made a point to say,
8696 the 8696 was talking to somebody else. I think that might have been Kenneth calling in from Pittsburgh. Let's keep it moving. 6765 is calling in. Good morning. Hello, Atlanta. Are you there? 6866. I'm sorry, 6765. Must have been a butt dial, unless I'm knocked off the call. Listen, I want to thank you guys. That's it. That's the last person we have in the queue. We're going to get out of here within an hour today. How cool? Oh, I shouldn't have spoke so fast. Come on out here, 1650.
Hey, Joe, it's Barry in Tucson, where the West is still wild.
And cold, Barry. It is freezing cold. And bring us up to speed, man. How was the wedding? Barry had a daughter, got married this last Saturday. How was it?
Oh, buddy, it was fantastic. It was perfect. The weather was beautiful. Just the day before the bad stuff came in on Sunday. Lots of fun, lots of celebrating, lots of joy, a lot of tears too, buddy. I tell you that, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was great,
yes.
though. Just a wonderful day. Everything was perfect.
I can imagine. What else is going on? Hey, I owe you a phone call, dude. I know you were hitting me up on Facebook, and I'll give you that phone call that you were looking for last week. It's very remarkable when you call somebody in this day and age and you get a busy signal, because I called you and I got a busy signal rather than voicemail, so I figured you must have had all your phones jamming with that wedding coming.
Well, you know what? I was so mad because I knew it was going to be a while before I got another call. It's like, man, I missed it. I was dialing one of my sons, and the call waiting doesn't work unless you're already talking and you've already made that connection. I tried to click over, but it's always a dial tone, so that's what I was doing.
Well, I'm talking to you now, man. How's things going on? What's happening with you?
No, things are going great, I appreciate you remembering about that phone call. Looking forward to that. But, yeah, other than the wedding, as far as business, I'm getting hits, getting some leads, waiting for a sale, and I know that's going to happen, and not worried about that one bit. I'm in it to win it, and, nowhere else I want to be. I even have a little rap I made up about Traffic Authority.
I'm ready. You going to record it for us? You want to put it on the radio, or you going to put it on a video and post it on the page? What are you going to do?
Well, I don't know about posting a video, but it's just a short little. Let me see. I'll do it right now.
Let's do it.
All right. So this is it for me, Traffic Authority, because there's no other place that I want to be. So if you got the drive and you want to be free, and come and join Traffic Authority.
You know what I say is boom. And I'm standing here right now. I got my baseball hat on backwards. I got my sunglasses on. I'm kind of leaning to the left. I got my arms folded across my chest, and I'm nodding, bro. I'm hanging with you.
Right on.
I love
Word.
it, Barry. Thank you very much. Word. Barry's rep. Now, listen, I want you guys to go out there and post on Facebook that you just heard Barry Earnhardt do a rap. And if people want to listen, it comes up at 65 minutes into today's radio show. I'm loving it, Barry. 6765. Suddenly you're back in the queue. Good morning.
I am. I apologize, Joe. It's Gary from Atlanta. I'm so sorry. I tried to find my unmute button, and for some reason I was fumbling around and couldn't get it. So I apologize.
Hey, Gary. No problem, man.
I have to follow Barry.
Could you imagine Barry doing the rap, right? Could you dig that or what, man?
He has to
Barry
do that
throwing some attitude. Yeah, that's a good idea. Barry's going to, when he's up on stage with the song, I'm going to be there with him. He's going to have to bring a posse, right, with him. So we can keep it. Yeah, for real. How you doing, Gary?
I'm doing awesome. Listen, I just wanted to follow up on what Kim said because it goes back to the email training that we had, in Traffic Academy with Darren. And, man, she was so right on because, Traffic Authority does exactly what it's supposed to do. If you set it up, you're going to start following that traffic through, your funnels, you're going to get leads. It just happens. I mean, all you got to do is set it up and it's automatic. What's not automatic is the follow-up that you have to do on a personal basis. Now, you've got those autoresponder messages back there, and that's terrific. But the whole point of Darren's teaching is to show us, how we can reach out on a personal level and create our own emails and get people, to know who we are and connect with us on a personal basis. And he shows you how to do that in that training. That's why that training is so important to get and to go through. And so I would encourage everybody to, if you're not in Traffic Academy, make sure you get in there and then definitely study that training because he shows you exactly how to construct those emails in such a way that it creates that kind of interest and you get that kind of connection. And sometimes it does happen right away. Sometimes you're going to get sales right away from your autoresponder messages. But more than likely, in most cases, it's going to take a while for you to build that rapport with your leads. And it's all based on you reaching out on that personal level. And I do it every single day. I send out an email on a personal level every single day to my list. I've got over 600 leads in my back office now, just funneling traffic through the back office. And I reach out to those leads every single day on a personal basis. And you never know when those sales are coming. They could come the first week. They might come a month from now. They might come 6 months from now because you never know exactly where somebody is. That perfect time when they get that email in their inbox and they say, yep, okay, today's the day I'm going to do that. I've been thinking about it. Today's the day I'm going to do it. It's worked out. I'm ready to take that jump. You just never know when that's going to be, so you have to do that and build that rapport. So, please get back there in your back office, get that Traffic Academy, and study that training because it's so good about how to construct those emails. So I just wanted to say that, and I'll pass it back to you.
Hey, Gary, you're reminding me of a training that somebody, I can't recall who it was, who shared this concept with me, but they said, and it goes to the sales cycle. That's what Kim Snyder was talking about and what you're talking about. Somebody said to me that, people go through life, right? And somebody opted in maybe yesterday, and they were all enthusiastic, and they were fired up. And then suddenly, in the middle of the night, they got a phone call, and something happened in their life. And they were distracted, right? However, that doesn't exclude them from the possibility that they will join you. This guy said, consider that everyone is going to go through stuff in their life, and once you've captured their attention, and if you're connecting with them with authenticity, he said, look at it like a conveyor belt. Okay, they're going through time, And then he says everybody, and then there's a target zone, right? There's like a target, and everybody will pass through the target at some point. The target zone being, okay, everything is cool, they're ready to move, they have the resources, they have the vision, and when you capture them when they're in that target zone, it's a slam dunk, but they're going to move out of the target zone, right? It's like Andy Andrews says, in life, you are either in chaos, exiting chaos, or about to enter chaos, right? It's like everybody goes through some stuff. So as long as you're authentic and you're connecting, eventually everybody's going to be in the mood. And if you're connecting with them and communicating with them, you're going to get them at the right time, and they're going to join you in business because what we're doing is clean and it's honest and we have high integrity, and that's just the way it's going to work. That's one of the laws that we operate under. So this idea of communicating with your group is awesome. And Gary, do you ever find, like, my philosophy is that people will either say, take me off your list, or eventually they're going to join me in something. That's why they stay on the list. Do you feel that that's the case as well? You know, like I've heard people say, well, I don't want to send too many emails, and, you know, I don't want to be spamming people. But it isn't spam if you're authentic, correct? And you can,
exactly.
Adam,
if they're on your list, don't be afraid to mail them. In fact, I've heard it said, and it's true, the best thing is that they could get off your list. Maybe not the best thing, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, you know, you don't want them on your list if they're just going to be baggage. So don't be afraid to email them. And, yeah, there's different philosophies about how often to email. Some people mail more than once a day. I know some people who are really big-time Internet marketers who slam their list 2 or 3 times a day, and it works for them. Mm-hmm. Others say maybe once a day. Others say a couple of times a week. You know, there's different philosophies. You can try out different things. But if they're on your list, then don't be afraid to mail them, because they're on there for a reason. And it could be, you know, that it's just not the right time for them right now for whatever reason. But they're interested, and they are waiting for that particular time when it's just right for them. I mean, we all go through that. I mean, let's face it, we all get, I don't know about you, Joe, but I get over 100 emails a day from people, and you know, they're pitching one thing or another. And the businesses that I've joined, the people that I've joined, are the people that continue to follow up with me and really did reach out and connect with me on a personal level. And that's all you really have to do. You just have to continue to email, let people know who you are, give them some details about yourself. I mean, well, think about radio personalities, DJs on the radio. I mean, the reason you follow certain people on the radio is because they tend to share a lot about what's going on in their daily lives. I mean, I know I do that, and they tell about what they did on the weekend or what they did with their family, and you feel like you're connected to them. Same thing happens here. I mean, it's the same thing. People want to know who they're dealing with. And so you have to, you know, reach out to people, let them know who you are. Not everybody's going to connect with you, but certain people are, and it's that, again, Darren goes into that, about a certain percentage of your leads are the ones who are going to join you. And, you know, again, I would just say get back in there and study that training because it's fabulous. So back to you again.
And thank you very much, Gary. You are right on, and I want to thank you, Gary. I want to thank you, Gary, for coming out here this morning. I also want to thank everybody who took the time to join us today. It has been really, really cool. How about that, Barry doing an actual rap for us? I want to thank Gilbert James for jumping in here this morning. Again, my thanks to Kim Snyder for taking the time and lay out some real training for us this morning. Joan in New Orleans, Holly Earl. I want to thank Frank for jumping out here. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I apologize. There are so many people every single day who are coming in here to get some kind of a connection, get some kind of energy. And once again today, this community has delivered. Remember, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, very basic training. Go through the back office. Some mindset training. We'll cover the comp plan. If you have brand new people or if you have prospects who want to say, okay, well, just, you know, give me a peek behind the curtain, we'll give them a peek behind the curtain. And that's going to happen tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys would please go and comment today on Facebook, what was this radio show like for you? What did it feel like today? It was a little bit different yesterday. Want to get this thing back where we really are focused, which is on results, things that we can do today to make a difference in our lives. Again, I want to thank you guys for being here. I will be back tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern and then again tomorrow morning on the Hump Day Midweek Report on Traffic Report at radioleverage.com. Make it a great day, everybody. Let's go play in some traffic, and always look both ways before crossing.